Everyone to our city council work meeting, decided that
Yes.
Siri wanted me to.
Mike's on.
Mike's on. Mike's on. Mike's on. How you doing, Ty?
Excited to,
Your button's red there, Steve.
there we go. To have Jake give us a discussion on ordinances, so we'll turn it over to you, Jake.
Okay, let's do that. Let me get in.
Jake, maybe you better turn your mic on there.
Okay, turn it on.
Gary's is red. He doesn't want to hop.
He's not gonna say anything. Oh,
I just can't see it. That's probably better for everybody.
Oh, he's gonna be quiet.
It remain red.
Yeah. We don't,
Giving an attorney the mic.
yeah, we don't want any trouble, do we?
Oh, no.
Will you admit me, Teresa?
Usually doesn't have to speak unless I say something.
Unless you need to be corrected. Yeah.
No, I'm using first. And then
Correct it,
Ty
look at
corrects it, so.
Is there any particular order you would like? We have 3 ordinances for tonight. We have one at a time.
Yeah.
Just go through them all. Okay. Okay, this is from the planning commission last week, so fresh off that. And let's try this again. Oh, will you allow that, Teresa?
Yes.
It requires me to request twice when you do that. It's weird. Okay. This is my packet from the planning commission, but during our meeting, I'll pull up the. Okay, so the first one is. You'll remember we changed the corner lots. For that the width of the corner lot matches. That it doesn't have to be wider. It just can be the normal width, whether it's an 80, 90, or 100, the width. And through that discussion, the planning commission found that in the city, we have a couple cases of what you think would be their backyard is actually their side yard. And if you're building on a corner lot, it's a little bit confusing. Where's your front door? Where's your garage side? Or is it the same? And then which is your back and your rear? Either way, you're going to have a setback of 10 feet and 30 feet. And the planning commission through discussion said, let's look at letting the owner decide which they want to be their rear and which they want to be their side. And so with that, this is the language right here. On building plans, corner lots have flexibility to indicate designated interior side and rear side and that's rear setback and corresponding setbacks. Applies to single family buildings only. It's pretty straightforward. Because if you look at, let me pull up pull up one of our lots and either way, you're going to have one neighbor who's within the building's within 10 feet and another's basically 30. I don't know if anyone remembers where Ray lives because he told me he had an example.
Is the reps? Is the rep subdivision
Hey, there's reps.
based?
That's right.
Excuse me, Pheasant Run. He's at Pheasant Run.
Keep going south.
Yeah. Not here, you gotta keep going down.
Is it this one?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an example right here. So by ordinance, you see how it looks like their house is really close to the backyard, their backyard? Somehow through the building department, this kind of snuck through. But essentially, otherwise it would have forced this over to this side and farther forward, which maybe it wouldn't have worked. But this house might not have been able to have been built that way. Certainly not this orientation. Essentially, it would allow this type of layout to happen legally. And assuming they had more space in the front and it could have gone farther forward, then this home would have been over here 10 feet and then 30 feet in the back. My point being is no matter which way you lay it out, one will be most likely within 10 feet and another will be within 30 feet.
So I think across the street. Straight across the street.
This one, oh, right here. That's about 10 feet.
One across the street. That one.
Oh, right here. So, yeah, this is example of, maybe they could have, if we would have, had this been a place, these guys could have slid it back farther to 10 and then gone closer over. Yeah, go ahead.
Jake, go on Cassie, I don't know, the one you looked at first.
Yep.
On the last name, Cassie Temple. So in your definition, it talks about interior. So in this situation here, what's considered interior?
Interior is next to the home, not, and I say interior because one is back and then one is interior side. The other, because a non-interior side would basically, if this is the front door and this is the front of the house, then this would be considered a side, but it would be a corner side. Street side, corner side. And so the interior just means that's not facing the street. So one is a back and one is an interior side. And for example, on this home, you could say this has 2 interior sides, is what you'd call those. And then interior side, left to right, north, south, rear, and then front.
So Jake, on that home right there, could the driveway have been the front? Could that be designated the front and then the back would be the right
Well,
side?
So we also changed the ordinance because of this. I think it was this home, maybe it was a different one, because they did street address the garage side. And that's very confusing for emergency services, mail, right? If you're Amazon delivery, you Amazon, you look for the front door. And so that's confusing. So you pull up and it's a garage. It's like, well, that's not the front door, right? We're all trained to look for a front door. And so building department specifically requested that we have an ordinance to require the street address to be on the front door. And that's what we have now. That's our current ordinance. But with that, we said, let's be a little flexible to allow unique circumstances because corner lots can be difficult. And so this would allow, you could have the street address here, you could have a short rear setback and have a wider side yard. And there is the,
You could have made a choice to put that and made the front
sure,
face the other street.
sure. And I don't know why they didn't do that.
Yeah, but the developer, the homeowner gets to have a little bit of a say in which orientation.
And front setbacks are difficult because our front setback is on a corner lot, it's both. So you almost get a double whammy with a corner lot because you get 25 on both sides setback. So you lose buildable area and you lose flexibility on both streets. And so this kind of helps them figure out ways. And we've heard from local builders that it's challenging with corner lots on how and where to place the home. So between the street addressing, the corner lot dimension, and then you remember last time we also made that the interior side yard can change, but that actually doesn't apply to corner lots. And then if you do this, if you agree with it and vote for it, then it just gives them a little more flexibility. Is that good?
Was it the other ordinance or this one that you mentioned? There were a couple of applications that were maybe waiting to see. If it would-
This one. And in the previous, we also had people looking to build that wanted to shift their home so they could do a pad on the side. Okay, the next item is updating the commercial land use code. This was something that was on your list of to do for the planning commission. And they worked on it for 3 to 4 months.
Guys remember the priority list?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what number it was?
And this was number 1.
Yeah, it's the first one.
Yeah.
On the priority, the way it's written.
First priority. Yeah.
And later, I'll pull up the prior, I just didn't have it in front of me, the priority list. We're ready to move on. So what we did is we went through the entire land use chart and anything that was duplicate, because we had some that were very similar, assisted living, nursing home, let's just combine them. So we did that. There also were some uses that were outdated, and we also categorize. So under, for example, retail, before we had electronics, camera stores, TV, shoes, back in the day when you had all these tiny shops before Walmart showed up, we combined a lot of those into retail services. So we did simplify. I'll go through and call out anything that is new. So assisted living, that's where we pull in nursing home. Heliport, that's new. We did have airport before, so we took out airport. And if a use, there's 2 ways that a use is not allowed. One is use not permitted when not listed. So if it doesn't show up here, then it's not allowed. But also there are certain circumstances where we said, this is significant enough, we want to show it as not being allowed to make it obvious. Mobile home was already that way, but that's what we did. We kept it that way. Heliport, we added that and I put it as conditional in case of the drone Ubers that could be coming. Feared if Morgan's going to have a place for it, maybe in the manufacturing zone, where someone could go and take an Uber taxi drone over to
So last
Salt Lake
year at the
Airport.
St. George meetings, they were talking about this and said they're looking for the coming up Olympics to have a bunch of that around
Oh, wow.
Utah.
Okay.
These air taxis. I don't know if that's still
Yeah.
in the works.
And it's listed as conditional use. So that way we could treat it one at a time. We could be like, okay, we need to make sure the air zone around it is clear, that you're not going to hit a tower, and do some FAA research. And so, and if there's anything that we're a little bit unsure on how to do, we put it as conditional, and then the planning commission would assign conditions to it. We'd want a letter from the FAA saying it's safe. Before we had railroad tracks in almost all of them. I just left it as conditional in the manufacturing. We added electrical vehicle charging. Something we didn't have before.
Have a charging station, do we, anywhere for the city?
No, but now it's obvious and permitted. And with these, we will still have to do some ordinance updates on what are the conditions on some of these, for example, electric vehicle charging. Maybe it's really simple, but maybe there is certain safety things that we'll want to do with that. Okay,
Bar not permitted, Tony.
we did add commercial campground. Commercial campground is in, in case Como Springs comes in or another one. And the idea behind a commercial campground is a nice KOA. We could require amenities, maybe pool, on-site management, landscaping, bathrooms.
Time they can stay, so it doesn't turn into.
Yeah, yeah, that could be part of the ordinance. So bar is on here but not shown, and then we also have tavern. And the difference is a tavern is more of a restaurant bar combo, and a bar is just alcohol. So that's how we decided to draw the line.
Supposed to be the epitome of a tavern almost, wouldn't it? The post
Wow.
I've never been in it. You tell me.
But it's too,
Backside's just the watering hole, yeah.
Yeah, they've got
Oh, it
good
is.
hamburgers.
can you go in the restaurant side and order a burger and a drink? Will they serve you alcohol out front? I don't think they will.
Probably not. It's.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
gotta
they
go
will.
to the
I
back.
think
You
you've
gotta go to the bar side.
Yeah, go see what it does.
Yes.
Taking one for the city.
Okay, all right, we added a drive-through non-food, like, if it's a pharmacy, laundry, others, we wanna look at that. Let's see. Okay, so we added sexually oriented businesses, but then we didn't have it in any location. So it was kind of called out that way. The same with smoking. This is on the document you received. It is marked as conditional under in our, let's see, in the central commercial zone. Data center, obviously that's been in the news a lot. I listed it as not allowed, but if someone approached the city, we could see, in the manufacturing zone and if there's certain conditions to it, obviously size, pollution, utilities. So under manufacturing, high impact manufacturing is not allowed. And that definition is if they're creating pollution using plastics, really heavy manufacturing, producing something from raw materials, that's not allowed. We do have light manufacturing, and the idea there is assembly. The foam place, I think, is a good example of that. And so
Heavy is defined in your, just in your definitions.
Yes.
Heavy manufacturing has a
yes,
specific definition.
yeah, everything that is in here as a use has a definition to it. So, and any questions in particular?
I've got one, Jake.
Yeah.
If an activity is not permitted, let's suppose something came along and it was desirable and that we had just missed it, but yet would want to consider that activity. What's the process to allow it?
Well, a couple different things. I'm gonna try to, and then Gary, you can correct me. If it's close enough on our land use code, then maybe we can squeeze it in.
So there's some room for interpretation then.
Yes, there's some interpretation by planning staff, the zoning administrator, which would be me. And then, so that's the first one. Is there something close that we can kind of squeeze it in? But we do have to be consistent. You know, we can't say, well, we like this business and so we'll let them in, and we don't like this business, so we won't. So we want to be consistent. The second item is, or the second way is they can come and propose it to the city, and we could, just like this process, we can add it take it to the planning commission, do a public hearing, do an ordinance, and then it comes to you for a vote.
So that could take a little bit of a time period.
Yes.
To go through all of that.
Yeah, two things. This last year, changes in the code this last year allows for two different avenues. One is the administrative avenue that Jake talked about. And there's an appeal from Jake's decision to an ALJ, administrative law judge or administrative officer, which took the place of Board of Adjustments a long time ago.
Right.
And then the other avenue is to go straight to the city council. There's no need to go to the planning commission. And that was one of the conditions that Libertas put in there, was that they don't need to go to the planning commission to shortcut it.
How do they,
Planning commission step wouldn't.
how do they do that route? Do we have to deny them first, the administrative route, or could we even say, yeah, go ahead and do it
They could actually go directly to the city council if they wanted to,
if they choose?
but it's probably better to go through. They don't have to choose one direction or the other. They could do both. They could go to you. And if you say no, rather than appealing, they could just go straight to the council, or they could appeal it. They could just go straight to the council,
Okay, so
which cuts the time.
Jake, your definition would be actually changing the ordinance, and there may be something that comes along where that makes sense. And but this that Gary's talking about would be a shortcut to the approval then.
Yes, still requires a process though.
So,
Just to follow up on that question, Gary, you've mentioned before that with some of these changes, conditional uses now generally or should not be denied, that they should be conditioned enough to be acceptable ultimately. That doesn't count or apply to something that's not listed or a non-permitted use.
No, the philosophy of a conditional use is it's appropriate for these zones. And you can come up with something to mitigate the negative
Sure.
impacts. That's the bottom line. And so the courts, the way they've looked at it is, well, you shouldn't have put it in there if you envision any place where it can't be allowed. It needs to be a last resort that you deny a conditional use, because there's always, even if you have to put a shell around the thing,
Yeah.
you've said that is appropriate for that zone. Same thing is not true for those that are specifically not listed. There's really no appeal from that except to the city council to try and put into place.
Well, and the point there is where it's
Use.
not listed, it's not denied, it's just not accepted.
Just not accepted.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a denial that goes along with it because it's not,
Yeah.
we're not considering whether to deny it or not. We're just
Exactly.
considering whether to accept it or not.
Right.
so if Fur Farm came to apply, just because it's blank doesn't mean it's out.
Oh, it is out.
Mhm.
It is out.
It
They
is
would
out.
have to
Go through these,
try to get it back in.
Yeah.
go through these steps.
But let's just say it was, I don't know, whatever's not listed, then they could do that, you know. A chicken farm, I don't know if that's up there if we have poultry, but
Let's not talk about chickens.
okay.
For a lot of people.
It occurred, a couple of things occurred to me the other night, sitting in a planning meeting when I was listening to it. Number one is kudos to you, Jake, and the planning commission. I mean, this needed to be looked at, so appreciate that very much. Second thing was, as I was looking at it, I thought, I'm sure at some point down the road, we're probably not gonna get something included or something right But this is a work in progress, right? I mean, it can, to the Dave's point, it can be, there can be changes made to it, so it's not necessarily set in stone, so,
Exactly.
so.
Yeah, this is a significant step forward, though, I would
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
From
Yeah,
from where we were behind.
yeah.
I don't know if there'd be an answer to this question or not, but are there any uses that, as the planning commission or Gary or Jake looked at that we specifically said we don't want that and we're not going to list it? Have you excluded anything in particular?
Well, the ones that we didn't want the most are on here as not permitted.
Okay,
The SOB,
Yeah.
the vaping.
so, then that brings up the question, not
Yeah.
permitted, why wouldn't you just leave it off? Just not list it?
To make it easier for staff to say no,
Like, cause it is recognized.
because it is recognized.
So instead of just saying this doesn't look or feel like anything, if it's listed, you can say that's exactly what you're applying for, but it's not.
I can give you an example.
Okay.
Because I mediated a case for St. George for a vape shop, and their argument was it's not listed
Mhm.
and as not permitted in the city. And so it is the same as any other retail use. And that was litigated, it went through mediation and also litigated all for 4 years, pretty much.
Hmm.
And then St. George won that one.
Mhm.
But if they'd have had it in the code
It's not
as not
permitted.
permitted, in other words, it's blank, it's not permitted, it's not conditional, but it's listed in your ordinance as one that's not allowed, and so that would have been easy
So
for
then
St.
that would
George.
say to me that there are things out there that may come up that we don't even know about right now that could cause a similar problem.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just deal with it when it comes up.
Work in progress.
But we have looked at what,
What's
what
out
do
there?
we see that's
Today's
out there?
issues.
Yeah. The big issues.
Anyway, thanks for taking it
Yeah,
on.
no kidding.
The next one is kind of a companion to that, so that's the definition. This ordinance for tonight on definitions, we call out every existing definition, so it says existing definition. And then anything that is new, for example, assisted living. That's an existing one. Let me get to a new one. Okay, auto and ATV sales. This is a new one, so we added this new definition, try to make, this is pretty detailed of what is included, and we did include snow machines, UTVs, passengers, recreational motor, pickup, motorcycles, all-terrain. But then also we exclude salvage, towing, heavy equipment, semi-trucks, commercial trucks, or van vehicles or dismantling. So what it is and what it isn't in terms of auto and ATV sales. Some other bar establishment where the primary activity is the sale and consumption of alcohol beverage for on-site consumption, and where food service, if provided, is secondary. So this is where we're saying if you're gonna be a bar and really your focus is alcohol, then maybe Morgan's not your place. But if you want to be like a Chili's or a restaurant that serves alcohol, then that's okay. Benevolent society was in there, it just didn't have a definition. Big box retail, 50,000 square feet or bigger. Let's see.
Boarding, rooming house.
Okay.
100%. I mean, now.
A building other than a motel, hotel, motel, or dwelling occupied as a single housekeeping unit where lodging is provided for compensation to multiple unrelated persons with or without meals. Essentially, you're just renting a room for the night. What I think we don't have in here is nightly rentals, but that is all covered through our business license is how we're doing it.
Let's see, we have our own ordinance on that, don't we?
Through the business licensing.
We determined we'd handle it through the business license. Talked about that, what, a year or so
Yes.
ago.
Yeah,
Short-term rental rules.
At length, yeah.
yeah. So chemical, plastic manufacturing, commercial campground. Commercial truck is storage and office, community event center. We have one that should be starting construction soon. They're on Commercial Street.
So, may I ask a question, Jake? The other night in planning, there was a lot of discussion about the display versus storage, right?
Yes.
And I was talking to the mayor about it. I got thinking about that myself the day after when I saw all of the side-by-sides parked over there. I mean, that's a fine line to me a little bit, because who knows how long some of those ATVs are going to sit there on that lot. I guess technically it's displayed them, but I don't know.
They should be for sale and they shouldn't be ones waiting to be repaired, upgraded, or storing is probably is, right? I mean, none of us will know if they pull one off of this lot and send it down to
Right.
their Centerville location or anywhere else.
But I thought it was an interesting discussion because it is kind of a little bit of a fine line there, to me anyway, but anyway.
You know,
Well, that-
you don't have to go any further than just 500 feet down the street. Look at Tractor Supply. They've got trailers
Trailers,
there. How do you know how long
they
they've been
got some
there?
stuff out in front of their home, their store.
But I think if they're for sale, if they're retail, you can probably
Yeah, they
distinguish
got much
between
more.
that and something that they're using just for their own business.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of discussion on it the other night. Well, an auto dealership's the same way, all the vehicles parked out front.
Yeah. Something, a bad model year, it doesn't sell,
Electric vehicle charging. Okay, this is one I added, flex unit. We added this use. We do have what we call flex units over in the Center Point development. Also, there's some really good looking ones being built by the Lees in Mountain Green. I know we're not supposed to talk about Mountain Green, but there's some pretty good buildings there coming in. And flex unit is kind of a different animal itself. It's not self-storage and it's not a warehouse or industrial. And I see flex unit as maybe 1 or 2 parking stalls per unit, individually owned or individually platted. So that, and the idea is that a plumber, electrician, a hobbyist that, restoring antique cars. There's a lot of good uses, but requiring from here we need to update the ordinance, but requiring windows, a front door, some architecture element, but we're seeing a lot of these all over. And there's, I think, a place for some of these in Morgan. Good for business. Heavy machine, sales and storage, the heliport, mentioned that one. I'm just listing all the new definitions. Live work unit. A live work unit is basically like a townhome. And then upstairs would be a residential unit, and then downstairs would be an office, a studio, insurance. Just kind of mixed use, but on a single unit. I don't know do we have any of those in town?
We do.
What would be a good example of one?
So there's a whole section on live work unit, and Shirts to the T is a live work unit.
Okay.
So 50% of their home is a retail store, and then the other 50% is a residential.
Yeah, and what's different about that with mixed use is a building that has, multiple commercial and multiple residential. Will live work as just a single unit, whether it's a house by itself or multiple units together. So that was adding a definition for something that we already had. High impact manufacturing, not allowed, but hazardous materials, and then light impact manufacturing allowed, which is assembly of non-hazardous. Mixed use, that was already in the code, but adding a definition. Open storage, talked a lot about that. That's just having items out there that are not for sale. And then outdoor display is items that are for sale, putting things out, Tractor Supply is a good example. They do a lot of that. Nurseries do it, having the plants outside. Restaurant, we didn't have a definition on that. As common as they are. And then restaurant with a drive-through. Retail, this is one that was reworked. A lot of these uses were separate, and we combined them into retail. Merchandise, furniture, electronics, bicycle, art, just a lot of different things that people would be selling. Shoes. I mean, I think we did have a shoe store as a separate item. Pet supply, sporting goods. I think I want to make one comment tonight. We ought to probably take this out of the definition. I don't know why I have warehouse in there. And also, oh, wait, never mind. That's that's not, that's my, okay, I was like, wait a second. Okay, it does not include, yeah, that's good to have that in there. Okay, we're good. We're good. Seasonal, the Halloween stores or Christmas stores, those kind of things. Now that, if it were a tree lot, that would be probably the outdoor display would be a tree lot. The SOB, small self-storage, smoke or vaping, adding that. Basically anything tobacco, electronic. Now, I mean, if Ridley's is selling, I don't know if they do or not. I mean, those, obviously that could be still sold. I'm sure they sell cigarettes and so the gas stations, but it's different than having a specific store for that. So they can still sell that under their business. How does that work? Where we don't, we're essentially saying no smoke or vaping store, which is a specific standalone, but how does that legally tie in with the gas station who's already selling tobacco products?
Percentage of floor area dedicated to that. That's what
Okay.
it comes down to.
Does that need to be part of the definition?
State law actually defines what a tobacco shop is, so. Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I think in your definition, is that primarily
Yeah,
engaged in this, I think.
yeah.
Majority of the, can't remember what the percentage is, but it's a pretty high percentage.
So we don't need to do anything about the grocery store or the gas station that's already,
Those are all
doing-
state law.
okay.
The state law.
okay. Tattoo establishment. This we did have as a conditional use in manufacturing and distribution as a conditional use. That was what was discussed at the planning commission.
Where does spa fit in? Cause it's not retail, it's like a service, but under,
Massage spa type? or-
well, that's what I'm saying is there's all kinds of spa,
Mm.
right? So there's, like, we just saw one
there was a head spa.
A head spa?
Yeah, there was, Teresa and I just saw one, but then there's nails are all spa,
Yeah,
massage
that's a great
spa.
question. What is
The
that?
medical spa is like Botox and, but it just seems like there's a lot of blurry lines under the category of spa and none of them seem to be retail.
Yeah, so we do have a beauty shop.
If you don't mind, we put it under, did we keep personal use in there? Or did we take it
No,
out?
we took that out.
Oh, okay, because that was one of the areas that we put there, and then in order for it to, some of those services that Ty's talking about do have to be inspected and approved through the health department, and that helps us with
Because
those type, but
like on business licenses, we have someone that came in and just does nails at their house.
yeah.
But
And
I
we-
do have,
I mean, I'm not against any of it. I just,
Where does it fit?
yeah, we don't,
Mm.
we can add that. I could come up with we can come up with a definition so that we could add that during the.
I'm just, yeah, but as you drive around, there's spa, everything.
Yeah, I know, you're right, you're right.
But
Okay. And there is, of course, the tattooing of eyebrows, and maybe that's not as a primary, but as a secondary. That would make that not be an issue.
And then on the veterinarian, there's a big difference between cows and horses and small animal vet, so I don't know. Looked like it was permitted vet, it said vet office, which means office, but
Do you think we need to split that?
I'm just saying like the service of like some vet includes corrals and it's permitted in, I don't know what the categories are, but
GC, CC, highway commercial, and MD.
okay.
So the only place it's not allowed is like commercial street.
Yeah, and like they have that one in Mountain Green that's just right in their flex use area,
Yeah.
and it's just small animal. So some of the small animal ones might fit in places where the big ones don't.
A vet or with corrals and horses and big stuff in Morgan, or is that gonna be in the county?
We have one in the,
Yeah, you can take your horse and
Where's that?
Here in the city.
right there.
400 east. But the traffic, like trucks and trailers and stuff like that are
Across from the new storage units.
kind of high impact.
Oh, so it's in the manufacturing.
But there it says veterinarian office, and so it doesn't say the same thing to me.
So do you think we need to kind of split that into two?
I just wonder where that's another big,
You know what we could do?
big range.
We could actually do it this way, that we can update the ordinance after to have specific requirements, so that if you're going to have horse and cows, then you need to have a bigger space, and you need to have, essentially it needs to be designed and built so it can accommodate it. And that way you don't see somebody on State Street just stopping and unloading a horse in a property that doesn't have adequate facilities. I think in the ordinance, we can easily handle that. But I think we should add the spa as part of, we could add that tonight. That might be the one change. That's fine. The other thing we could do is we could just make it conditional use. And so we just look at them one at a time and be like, okay, what are you applying for?
Yeah.
This is what you need to have. Does everyone like that idea? I think that's an easy solution. So are you doing cows and horses, or are you just doing?
Yeah, but at least condition, I think.
Okay.
There should be some conditions, because
I guess in that same light, what about an equestrian center? Well, I mean, we have one, but do we have that?
We do have an ag zone that's not on here. This is just our commercial uses. Ag is paired with residential. So that would probably be more appropriate. It's gonna end up in the ag or the R20 zones.
How much can you change, Jake, without a new public hearing? I mean, how
You
much of
can
this-
change any of this. Just when you make a motion.
Yeah, you're talking about what he's written tonight.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
If there were significant changes, would that go back to a public hearing?
No, you could change them tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, no worry. And certainly any of these are, I mean, you could change any of it, but I still think it's a small change.
Yeah.
Switching it to conditional and then also adding the spa.
So list those changes, then we'll know what they are when we. come.
Yeah, so veterinarian, and maybe we just take out the word office, we just call it veterinarian. And then we do conditional instead of permitted.
Yep.
And then the other use is spa. And in the next session, I'll present a definition of that.
I don't know how you define it as
Um,
it's a lot of,
we already have the beauty part, so anybody that's hair cutting or makeup or nails.
The threading of the eyebrow, that would be part, was that part of?
Yeah, I didn't know people did that, but
Don't know why they do it either, but.
but yeah, that would be under beauty. So I think the spa is more the massage, and I think we'll just want to make sure that it's following health code or health department protocols. That will definitely add that in the
And we have-
definition.
we have a couple that do home-based massages, but I don't know that they consider themselves a spa.
Okay, well, that would be covered under our residential home occupation.
Occupation.
Yeah, so that part we wouldn't hit tonight. The definition of a spa, we'll want to. I'm gonna look at a couple other cities here in a second.
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
So you just make a couple of recommendations on the veterinarian. Just looking at other cities, they have,
Yeah.
hey, they were a victim. Small animal facilities. And then they have large animal facilities. So they have large.
Oh.
So they split it into two different. So the first category is veterinary clinic comma small animal. And it serves household pets only, entirely indoors, permitted in commercial zones. And then the second one is veterinary hospitals and clinics, comma large animals, and it serves livestock, equine, farm animals, allows outdoor structures and corrals, restricted to agricultural or light industrial. That's the way other cities have done it. I mean, the most common way that they've done it is to divide the two. So
That seems to make sense.
Okay, you can do that.
then
Spots are now. Marion does all the small animal and JC does the big animal.
A lot of times they go on site and they.
Oh, yeah.
Marriage divided.
Mhm.
that's it.
You got one more. Where do man caves fit in?
I think
That's
the
Typically in the basement.
The shed out.
Well,
back.
it's
Home
not in your
occupation.
basement, yeah.
This is commercial only, so there could be, if you're talking about a man cave at a house, that would be a garage.
Actually,
A
I,
detached-
storage unit.
Yeah,
Converted
yeah,
into
and
a-
so we do have self-storage, so you could just have your own storage unit. And sometimes they have power, sometimes they just have lights. The other option is the flex unit that we added.
Okay, so.
That could be
Could fit
the
in
expensive one, but yeah.
Either one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard of some that are pretty elaborate, you know.
Yeah.
Have plumbing and so forth.
And palm trees.
Figure. You're giving me, you're giving Jeff ideas now.
Swear, Ann will let me have something. A detached unit,
Yes,
that you had. X.
They're
Spot
very
for-
popular.
Yeah.
Okay, so for veterinarian, I'll add those two options, large animal and small animal.
Man cave that all the time.
Man cave definition differs so much between individuals.
Probably a bar.
There's a name for the lady version of it too. What?
She shed.
What?
She shed.
She shed.
Bloodshed?
She shed.
Oh, she shed.
I mean, there's some of that.
Turn it into a business, and then we're in big trouble.
Yeah, I think there's some movement that way nowadays.
I thought that was the rest of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, everything other than the garage.
Okay, well, thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
We'll, we'll adjourn this and take a 4-minute break.
So did get it, Ronnie?
Yeah, don't forget dinner.
Dinner's here.
Teresa thinks she was covering for Janet, she should have done a vegetable tray or something.
Yeah.
That's what she said she was gonna get. That's all.
She felt sorry.
Well, for the planning commission. The planning members are pretty.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, there was pretty much.
That's interesting.
Spas had 5 or 6 of the
Cities across the state
Good.
divide the spas into a number of different categories.
Well, I thought.
They did it.
Good.
What do you think?
Day spas, personal service establishments.
Already then.
Massage establishments, Body works. Black Canyon,
Oh.
you know, the summit.
Rather than was the fire.
Then this is a new one, the Bisson is vacation spots, you know where they have the candy foods. Well, sweat lodge.
I think we come back in a future time, spa.
For certain. Yeah, that's one that really
Okay.
deserves looking at, especially so we can check in any illegitimate.
Yeah.
Tony?
We have so many, we have so
Water
many
advisory
that
board.
we shut down just based on.
Just remember reading about the.
Well, you've left.
They
you've lost
turned
the-
into SOPs.
He's done
Yeah,
the
we-
water advisory.
Went out on some-
Scott, hasn't he?
Yeah,
That's
single
Scar.
operations on them, and they were
Oh, you
very-
did?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
they go out the parking lots, wait for the truck
No,
drivers
it's
to come here and there. Oh, it was
No.
easy.
Okay,
So, yeah.
I think that's a good recommendation.
Let's work on
Okay, especially where there's.
You want me to send you guys
Secondary
the-
water.
Yeah.
Just do a summary of the,
What, Brandon?
on the large animal and small animal.
No.
Yes,
Brett.
yeah, let's do that.
Brandon.
We'll add those, definitions.
Thanks, Jake. Great
Thank
job.
you.
Again,
Yeah,
you're awesome.
totally passed our radar.
Right.
And it's such an obvious big one.
Yeah, if you think about it, that's true.
Said the pump over there, the bearings are all out of it. Wasn't pumping no water.
Yeah, I think he's. Well,
Done a lot
they
better
do a
job.
lot of things with them.
Is that right?
It's just let them. Before it go to hell, when you let stuff go to hell, then you cost, you never get on top of that. But so I think he'll do that job. I forgot about Brett. Old as old Walt, the guy. Yeah,
How old it, would he? Yeah, he's a clown.
you know how old Walt Boyce was when he passed?
He wasn't that old. I mean,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you know,
Over at the.
80 isn't that old to me anymore, but I mean, you know, but.
I know.
But I mean, when somebody dies in their 70s anymore, I think, well, they weren't that old. I don't think he was, I thought he was in his 70s somewhere, maybe close to 80. I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe older. That's the trouble. You don't think how old you are yourself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess he got kind of bad toward the end there, but.
Do you have cancer or anything?
Yeah.
Did he?
Mhm.
Oh.
For sure.
Mhm.
Bought cancer.
You good for the pledge, Jeffrey?
You bet.
Yeah, was over there in the.
Yeah.
Vietnam. He probably brought some of that stuff back from you.
One of the old Vietnam guys are
Teresa.
1 or 2 years either side.
I suggested carrots.
I don't know how old Carl is. How old is Carl Harding?
Healthy stuff for us all.
You don't want fried food in honor of the fair?
He'd be.
Go down
he'd
and
have
get
to be
fried
pushing
Twinkies
it.
or whatever they have.
Told Cindy ever. Anything there. Figure that out.
I don't.
Like, is that a, what's
It's similar just men's, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
They used to have one, I think you can still get it, called the gallon. But it's a hamburger and they always taste better when they're grilled on their grill at the fairgrounds. I'm
Yeah.
not sure why. They put the hamburger and then a hot dog on
You
top.
slice the hot dog in half.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the radio burger.
Oh, yeah.
So you try.
I think it is that grill that makes a difference.
Yeah, I tried one at home the other day,
Oh, the Grand Slam.
rodeo burger, and mine wasn't as good.
Not near as good as the fair.
No,
You have
I
to
don't,
cook it
I
yourself.
think my grill was too new.
Come up on Saturday.
Yes.
It had that old taste to it or something.
Get it.
Did you get your Blackstone?
I did,
Then you.
yeah, but I think, you know, for
Then you're supporting.
my meat and stuff, I still like my Traeger the best, but
Oh, that's
Blackstone's great for like doing
Then you gotta go. to
big
that.
breakfast, stuff like that, you know, where you.
Yeah.
Eggs,
You gotta.
Massive.
eggs and hash browns,
Yeah.
cakes.
Yeah.
It made some.
Just bring 200.
Third fry.
How old are your kids, Jake?
They're older, 20, 18 and 14.
Okay, so got one at home or two.
Well, one for the summer and then one at home. She brings some friends.
28,
That's what I have to do.
18, Right.
Just have one.
45, 42.
Yeah.
38.
You're saying he doesn't look old enough to have a 20-year-old. Seriously.
Jake let his hair grow out there, he's great.
Huh?
Yeah, no, I have lots of gray.
Or a beard.
Yeah.
That'll bring the gray
I
out.
can't do a
It
good
makes
gray.
you feel young, doesn't it? I got a 52-year-old brother.
Okay, welcome to our Morgan City Council. It is July 28th and it is 2026. Let's begin, Jeffrey, on the pledge, and I've asked Dave if he'd do our prayer.
Everybody please rise. Keep the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Our Father in heaven, we gather before thee as we begin our Morgan City Council meeting. We're thankful for the opportunity we have to come together. We're thankful for this beautiful valley and the freedoms that we enjoy therein. We're thankful for those that protect our freedoms, and we pray for them. As we consider the affairs of the city now, we ask that we may make decisions proper for the benefit of the city and our residents. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you.
Can I get an approval of the meeting's agenda?
Got one change. I'd like to add that on the consent agenda that we include the minutes of the Morgan City Council work meeting. Janet prepared those, they're standalone and separate, and would suggest that we approve those as well as the minutes of the city council meeting, the same date, June 23rd.
Okay, but what about tonight's meeting? Everybody okay with the agenda for tonight's meeting?
But we would add this to the agenda. Morgan City Council work meeting minutes, we'd approve those.
Was well as the-
It was June
as well as the-
23rd.
As well as the city
Yeah,
minutes.
but it would be a standalone set of minutes. These are the council meeting, this would be the work meeting.
Well, item C is tonight's meeting, and that would be under number 2, correct?
Well, if we're changing the agenda, I would just bring it up then, so whatever. Yeah, we could do it
So
under
you're
2.
basically saying, Dave, minutes of the Morgan City Council meeting and Morgan City Council work meeting
That works.
on that same day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay,
Make that change.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Is your motion made on that?
That's what I was wondering.
I thought, oh, didn't Dave?
Was that a motion, Dave, that you made on that?
Yeah, that you made the motion with that one change.
For the consent agenda,
Yeah.
I will do that. So moved. Move to
Thought you
approve.
said that.
I've read the minutes and looked at the warrants, would move to approve the city council and work meeting minutes of June 23rd, 2026, and the warrants from 6:20 to 7:23:26.
Do we have a second
If
for
you're
that?
okay to second that?
I'll second that, yes.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I don't see Cal yet. I have just, I don't know if this is gonna be an announcement to us for a notice of a special meeting and public hearings. Or Tuesday, August 11th. Everybody get that?
No.
No.
I'll read it. Notice is hereby given pursuant to Utah Code Title 52, Chapter 4, that the City Council of Morgan, Utah will hold a special meeting and public hearings in open public session in connection with their meeting on Tuesday, August 11th, 2026, or as soon thereafter as possible at the Morgan City offices. The City Council will receive public comments regarding an ordinance amending Title I, Chapter 1.15 of the Morgan City Code by amending fees of the consolidated fee schedule for rental of Front Street Plaza, alleyway, and stage. Providing for repealer, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date of August 11, 2026. So that's just an upcoming announcement, I guess. Okay.
Public hearing, right?
Prior to the public hearing, supporting documentation will be posted on the city website, which it's done.
And that council meeting likewise begins at 7.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see Cal.
What? Mayor?
I didn't check with him today.
May not be here.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I didn't double check with him. That's
Then
normally what Janet would have done. So,
concerning water, I kind of were on the subject here. So do we know as far as like the outflows of our springs and, you know, in the city this year? I mean, are they,
Push your red button.
yeah, are they running, you know, somewhat normal or?
yep, they've been normal. The spring flow's been right on track, so we didn't.
So we're not seeing a decrease in outflows of any of the springs or, okay, I just was asked that the other day. And
In fact, our Island Road well hasn't even been operating, so since it,
the Island Road, we haven't even had that well on, huh? That-
since it's broke, we still had trouble trying to get it back on, but we haven't needed it. There was a booster pump also that needed adjusted or brought back online, and we haven't needed. The booster pump's back on now, but the water sources have all been really good.
Ty, it seemed like several years ago, when we were conserving water and we put signs out and so forth, our wells, there was some concern with them dropping. It seemed like we've had a drier winter this year than we've ever had before. Why wouldn't we be having a similar problem, do you think?
So, well, that year was more based on water usage than water supply.
Okay,
So we had, if you remember, we
we had leakage too.
we had a lot of leaks. We had like 200 plus, like we had one connection that was using
100,000.
300,000 a month.
That was before the resolution that we.
Yeah, so that wasn't a water source problem, but what happened was
Okay,
the tank level would go down, like it got within 6 feet of the bottom. So the draw all at once during the day was really significant and
Concerning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like over 1 million gallons we saved when we fixed those leaks, wasn't it?
yeah, it was really significant,
Is
but
it-
we haven't really had a spike. So secondary water hasn't done any restrictions or anything like that, which hasn't put any additional demand on our culinary system.
So, I mean, you can't answer this right now, I understand that, but I thought of this the other day. It would be curious to know what our culinary usage was prior to having a secondary system in the city and where it stands today with the secondary system. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of growth since we put in
Yeah.
a secondary system, but I thought that'd be kind of an interesting thing to see is, so what was our usage back then prior to?
Yeah. Yeah, because we have different software now to track
Yeah.
it, so.
While we're on water, I've also been asked on the secondary side, and I said, that has nothing to do with us. I don't know. But I've had people, how do I know how much water my meters, are they gonna send out a bill? Will they tell us how much water we're using each month?
Yeah, so they've installed the meters, they're tracking it, but there's not gonna be a bill. They're not charging for the usage. I think they're trying to establish a baseline this year, and then probably next year they'll get at least a usage report.
For each
But-
connection.
But to your point, I've heard Tage Flynn or whoever it is down at Weber Basin say that just simply by putting secondary meters in place and letting people know how much they've used or how much they're
They're
using, that
using.
it's cut down like 20-30% of the water usage just because people have gone, I thought, wow, I didn't realize I used that much water. So they've kind of cut down on it.
So maybe by next
So-
year, they may tell us our usage.
Would be, to your point, it would be kind of nice to know, wouldn't it? Because
Yeah.
you'd think, wow, I didn't realize I was using that much secondary water. Anyway.
Maybe they send us a flyer out in the winter time or something. Tell us how many thousands we used.
Maybe,
Yeah, you're,
it'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it always your neighbor that uses the extra water?
yeah.
Theirs is always on?
Guy down the street.
Oh, they got the greenest lawn in town. Okay,
Mine's pretty.
Teresa, I don't see anybody online for a citizen comment.
No, and no one online, and I do not have any
Don't.
comment cards either.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to the active agenda. Item A, review action, a resolution adopting and approving a purchase contract for the Utah Department of Transportation between Morgan City and UDOT, Resolution 2634. You want to bring us up to date, Ty?
Yeah, so this is a piece of property we've been working on for 3 years. We finally got it almost across the finish line, but we have the agreement. It's over by Geneva Rock, and it's the property where we want to put our natural gas power plant
Old off ramp.
off ramp. So the terms of the agreement are pretty pretty straightforward. I don't have it in front of me now, but about $525,000, if I remember after the fees and all that. The appraisal report came back and it had some easements. We're getting UDOT has had to release an easement that they had at the point of purchase, which they've agreed to, and then it'll just have a pipeline easement and the big ditch easement left on it. Other than that, it'll be a clear title.
That won't interfere with the project.
It'll be tight. We have some preliminary drawings and there's different orientations that we can do for the power plant, but it should fit, so.
Looks like we paid for an appraisal. The purchase price is the same as the appraisal. We're just paying what it was appraised for.
That and then some fees, yeah.
Yeah, there's about $9,000 worth of fees, it looked like.
Yeah.
You maybe have already made the correction or somebody had noted it, but it referenced bordering I-80, which should be I-84, so.
Yeah, so
that correction.
so we sent them the corrections that they need to make. The title company said that the UDOT has to be the one to make those changes on the description. There was a couple places, one that said 184 and then the other one said I-80.
Yeah.
And so they were both wrong.
If let's suppose we purchase the property, if the generation plant never comes to pass, what happens to the property?
We could build a public works building
Okay.
on it. So
There'd be some utility for us.
yeah, there's it's a good place for a shop just out of everybody's way and it has pretty good road access. So
Yeah. And easements would still allow you to do something that way.
yeah.
So they'll just be changing it to I-84 from.
From my 80, yeah. Yeah, we took the property description and had you, Jones and Associates map it and everything hand out. It was just the reference to I-80 instead of 84.
Okay, is anybody ready for a motion or more discussion?
Saw that somewhere.
And then, the money would come out of the capital improvements fund, if you're curious about that, so.
I'm sorry.
It'll come out of capital improvements.
How big is that lot? Is it 3 acres or so, or?
Yeah, I can't remember now.
I was trying to see in here if I could.
It's long and skinny.
Yeah, it's a really odd shape, and then,
The old off ramp, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right here.
2.81 acres.
2.8.
so, yeah.
Is there a right of way to get to the property or does it border the existing road?
It borders 600 East,
Okay.
so it comes right off there and,
Yeah, good.
so we've mapped out the utilities. The natural gas will come under the freeway right there and then go down. They already have an existing line, but we'll have to upgrade
You don't have to cross railroad.
no, it'll go under the,
That'd be-
yep.
So,
Mayor,
I'm sorry.
go ahead, Tony.
So would our generating facility, it would sit solely on this piece of property somewhere? Is that?
Yeah, it'd be between the big ditch and the fence where Geneva is.
Okay, all right.
No, the next piece over,
Next piece over. Yeah.
across the ditch. That long skinny, well,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, part of, yeah, that's not a parcel, but that's where it is.
Yeah, it's a off ramp.
If no more discussion, I'd move to approve resolution 26-34, a resolution adopting and approving the purchase contract for the Utah Department of Transportation, UDOT, between Morgan City and UDOT.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on resolution 26-34. Dave,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Jeffrey.
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous, Teresa.
Before we move off of that, Mayor,
Mhm.
so how is discussions going with Geneva as far as?
Good. Yep, so we also have some quotes back, so the generation facility would be about 10 million. And then like the gas connection would be 400,000. So the whole, and then we have to run lines over to the high school
Substation?
the substation, and so we're right at 11 million for the whole project, and then they would have a special rate. It'd be a industrial rate for the demand. But right now Geneva's renting diesel generators. They didn't buy their generators in anticipation that they'd be able to connect.
This generator would put out how many megawatts?
So there'd be two generators, and they'd just be shy of 5 megawatts combined. So they're 2.5 megawatts per genset. But because of our altitude, they wouldn't produce the full 5 megawatts, and so
Okay.
in Geneva would use about 1.5 megawatts, and then we'd use the surplus on our system, which will offset our need to buy power in other projects. So it'll accommodate our growth for quite a bit, so.
So if Geneva's is not operating at that moment, then that's all available to
Mhm.
the city, right?
Yep. Yep.
What are their hours of operation there, do you know?
This morning till night, I don't know the exact time, but they're not allowed to run the crusher at night.
Know when they start. 7 o'clock.
I would just.
Some would say 6.
What would help?
I guess 7 o'clock it goes in the bin at 7. My alarm clock.
Okay.
Later in the afternoon, the summer, that would be.
Yeah. So we're meeting with UAMPS tomorrow to talk about making it a UAMPS project, so they'd finance it, and then once we get that all ironed out and all the costs and stuff, then we'll bring that back to council. See if you wanna make it a project, so. Getting closer.
Yeah. The Geneva, they're being patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
willing to work through the process.
Okay. Item B. Resolution of the Morgan City Council approving and adopting an agreement with the Arlene S. Christensen Trust regarding the installation of an electrical service stub and resolution of prior utility obligations, authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and providing an effective date. Resolution 2635. You got anything on that?
Yeah, so this is kind of a cleanup resolution. There were some agreements in the past that we couldn't find a signed copy of, but the terms of the agreement had been met. There was an easement that needed to be recorded, and that had been done. And so part of the terms of that agreement were that we would provide them electrical connections. At the time, the agreement was more significant because it was prior to annexation. So it was basically saying, you give us a utility easement and we'll allow you to connect to the power system and we would bring it to your doorstep. Basically, we would provide the power, but now they're in the city, and so we would essentially do that anyway, but this agreement just cleans that up and make sure that on our terms that we have a signed agreement to finish that out.
Wouldn't the, I mean, this seems like infrastructure to me. Wouldn't the developer be responsible for that?
Except for we had previously.
Because of the easements.
Because we had previously
You said
said that we would, but we couldn't find us. Yep, yeah, so we would, so we would front the cost to bring it and then they would have to take it to their.
Yeah, Ray,
Where they take it.
Well,
Ray remembered it.
I remember it.
Mayor Egbert. And so they found it. They found
Was
it.
that, okay, that we had committed to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I recall.
I remember too.
I recall.
Have a lot of
Hi.
institutional
But I-
memory, it sounds like.
But I didn't realize it had never been kind of firmed up, so. Was it the easement going down to? Do we have an easement going down to the sewer ponds now then?
Yeah, that one was a sewer line. I was actually here for that one. But this is prior to that. And now that one provided for sewer connections. This one provided for power connections.
Ty, what's the anticipated cost?
Not that much.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was, but power is essentially available to them.
It's close by.
Yeah.
Like a developer, they'll need to figure out what your connection.
Where they go after that. Good.
You got a motion?
Mayor, I will make a motion to approve resolution 26-35. That is the one we're on, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, a resolution of the Morgan City Council approving and adopting an agreement with the Arlene S. Christensen Trust regarding the installation of an electrical service stub and resolution of prior utility obligations authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and providing an effective date. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, so I guess deals with money. So Dave,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jeffrey?
Aye.
Teresa, that's unanimous. Okay, item C, a resolution approving a subdivision bond agreement for improvements and a warranty between Morgan City and Wasatch West LC. Resolution 2630-36, excuse me. Is this one Ty or Jake?
So Wasatch West is just, it's Valley Vista is the development with the Wall Brothers. So for that first phase of town home.
The standard bond agreement, this assurance bond. Has to be approved by the council.
Well, I read through it all and it's all too legal wording for my brain.
Ty, part of the packet included, it looked like a cover sheet giving the amounts suggested by the engineer, but my suspicion is those are broken down line by line so that we know what they are.
Yeah.
Does anybody check to see that those are reasonable, or we just accept what they give us?
So Jones and Associates does the,
Right.
so the developer's engineer has to say this is what we have and our costs, and then Jones.
So
and
that's a double
Associates-
check right there.
And
They-
then Jones and Associates
they're-
reviews it,
sure.
and like, did you put enough in for?
Yeah, it's gonna be the check and balance. They're not gonna want to put too much in, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then Jones Associates make sure that we feel like it will cover us. If they
Right.
go. And they'll look at all of the line items, and so,
Gotcha.
like, I know he's done that before, where he's like, you know, you didn't account for landscaping,
Mhm.
just really. Detailed.
This is Carrot's, our engineer.
Our engineer.
Okay.
And that's the 593,302
Right here, yep.
and 61 cents.
Yeah.
Sounds like a motion.
Pointed out at the very top of the agreement where it says warranty only, we could put the amount in there, even though it's in the attachment, but we could go ahead and put the amount, fill in the amount of the warranty. At the very top of the document. Where. Let's
So
see.
bond agreement or
Says-
593.
Yeah.
Is
So-
that for both or is it just the warranty?
That's just the warranty.
Oh.
We'll insert that in there, but it's in the attachment, so. The document is also the attachment. Sorry, but go ahead and do that. It's ready.
Do we need to fill that in then?
yeah, no.
Fill it in for you. Just
202,928.
No, yeah.
Okay, so we can just make a motion to approve as it's written, correct?
Yeah, and we'll just fill that.
Okay.
Amount of the 1-year warranty of $202,928.34 in at the top.
I think Tony started a motion.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So we're saying we can just go ahead and make a motion to approve 2636 as it reads, or you want to add something to that?
No, just go ahead and approve the document
Okay,
and we'll insert that amount, staff will
Alright.
insert that amount.
okay.
Thanks, Tony.
There. Tony, I will then make a motion that we do approve the resolution 26-36. It's the resolution approving a subdivision bond agreement for improvements and a warranty between Morgan City and Wasatch West LC. Is that LC or LLC? LC. Just LC? I don't know.
I'll second that, Mayor.
It's Liability Corporation, I think is
Okay.
what it is.
Okay, we have a motion from Tony, a second from Jeffrey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Teresa, that's unanimous. Okay, item D, an ordinance adopting the Morgan City 10-14-070 residential zones, tables 3-1 update, providing for repealer, providing for severability, and for providing for immediate effective date, ordinance 2610. Okay, this is kind of what we spent some time on.
This is the side yards, correct?
Yes. That's correct. This is the recommended language right here. It's in your packet.
You want to just mention what that is for the record?
Yes, yeah, we discussed this in the work session. And this language provides that on corner lots, the homeowner, the builder, the designer may indicate which they would like to be the rear and which they would like to be the interior side. The two corner, the front and then the corner side will remain as is for setbacks. And the language reads, on building plans, corner lots may have the flexibility to indicate interior side and rear corresponding setbacks. Applies to single-family buildings only. And specifically, I typed it as building plans, because when they submit their building plans, they need to say, this is our rear, this is our side. And so that way, Roe and the building department can review it and approve it as such.
Well, in light of the fact that it's been thoroughly discussed and vetted in planning commission and with the city council as well, I will make a motion that we adopt ordinance 26-10 an ordinance adopting the Morgan City 10.14.070 residential zones, tables 3-1 update, providing for repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an immediate effective date.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Teresa, that's unanimous. Okay, item E, an ordinance adopting the Morgan City 10-16-160 commercial manufacturing land use classification. Table 4-2, update providing for repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an immediate effective date, ordinance 2611. Okay, this has been discussed also.
Do you have those changes, Jay?
I do. Okay. So this is our table 10.16.160, commercial manufacturing land use classification, table 4-2. This was discussed in the work session. And the only change that's coming out of the work session is that under veterinarian, we would say veterinarian clinic, small animal. And that would be conditional in all 4 commercial zones. The reason for conditional is just to understand what they want to do. Kennels, what kind of animals, where's it going? And then veterinary clinic dash hospital large animal. And that would only be in highway commercial, this one here, and then also manufacturing distribution. And then I do have some definitions that Gary worked on in the meantime. Veterinary clinic, small animal, serves household pets only, entirely indoors, permitted in commercial zones. And this we would say, oh, I'm just going to make a change here. Conditional. Well, actually, we don't need the commercial zones. We'll just say in because it may end up in a residential. Entirely indoors. And then veterinary, hospital, clinic, large animal, serves livestock, equine, or farm animals, outdoor, allows outdoor structures, corrals restricted to agriculture or light industrial zones. Again, we'll take out where it's restricted because that's per the land use code, but that defines what it is. Because this large animal will also add to agriculture, which is a separate table, but the same definition. These are the only changes we're recommending. We will come back with spa. There's so many different types of spa. There's medical spa, there's massage spa. They put the rocks on you and the mud and all that stuff that I don't know about. So anyway, we'll come back with the spa part. And where it is tied in with the medical healthcare industry, we think that needs a little bit more research than just adding it.
So do we have a contingency on the spa, or you can just?
That'll be a future update. We'll add to it. It's nuanced enough, and there's probably some liability in healthcare with it that definitely needs to be added and addressed, but a little bit of research and run through the planning commission.
So Jake, changing the veterinary part, is that changing this ordinance and the definition ordinance that follows both of them?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna make a change to both of them
Yes.
as per your instruction.
Yeah, so this would be, as shown on the screen here, for the land use, we'll add veterinary clinic, small animal, conditional in all 4. And then we'll also add veterinary clinic, hospital, large animal, only in highway commercial and manufacturing.
And then for the next ordinance, it also changes that definition.
definitions.
Okay.
We'll remove the existing, because we already have an existing veterinarian that we'll move and we'll replace it with 2. That was a good fix.
I think we're,
Trying to figure out how to word it.
I'll
Take a whack at it.
I'll give this one a try. Mayor, I'd move that we approve ordinance 26-11, an ordinance adopting the Morgan City 10.16.160 commercial manufacturing land use classifications, table 4.2 update. As per Exhibit B, providing for repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an immediate effective date with changes as recommended by Jake, which involves the land use designations for veterinarian, changing that to conditional use permit, as well as describing the small versus large animal aspect.
well done. And I'll second that, Dave.
Okay,
Okay, we have a motion and
that one count.
a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hey, Teresa, that's unanimous. Okay, item F, an ordinance adopting the Morgan City zoning chapter 10-04-010 definition update, providing for repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an immediate effective date, ordinance 2612. Okay, once again, we've discussed this one.
Where's your, you just had the slide up there that had large and
Yes, right here.
there you go.
And again, for the record, the only change from what was proposed is removing the existing veterinary office and replacing it with a veterinary clinic, small animal, and also adding veterinary hospital dash clinic, large animal.
Removing what, Jake? Removing?
Veterinary office. We did have that as proposed, and I'll scroll to that right now.
Okay.
So the single will be replaced with the two
Two
definitions.
classifications.
Yeah. Right here.
Bring that other slide up again, will you? Jake?
And if someone wanted to do both, they certainly could as well. It would just be two conditional use permits. Of course, they'd have to be in the manufacturing or the highway commercial area.
Okay. I'll see if I can get through this one. Okay. Mayor? I will make a motion that we approve, adopt, the ordinance 2612. It is an ordinance, and I haven't got the right page here. But I'm going to say an ordinance adopted the Morgan City zoning chapter 10.04.010 definition update, providing for repealer, providing for severability, and providing for an immediate effective date. Ordinance 2612, with this change that we remove from the definition veterinarian office, and we add to the definition of veterinary clinic, small animal, serves household pets only, entirely indoors, and also a designation of a veterinary hospital, clinic, large animals, serves livestock, equine, or farm animals, allows outdoor structures, corrals.
Wow.
Good. Good job.
You got it, Brett.
I just want to know if I goofed it up.
Just one discussion item, though.
Okay.
On the chapter heading of the ordinance, we've got chapter at the very end of the first sentence, chapter 10.04. Should that be 10.04010?
Didn't finish that on a,
Oh, yeah. In section 2 and 1.
Yeah, do we need to change the title to just 0.010, add 0.010?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
Your-
add that to my motion.
Your motion, you stated it right. It's just that it was wrong on here, so you don't even have to redo it.
Yeah. Did we have a second?
Jeff did.
Yeah,
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Okay, Teresa, that is unanimous. Okay, if we go to number 6, city council, is there any things that anybody wants to report on?
I'd talk a little bit about the planning meeting, just most of, or a lot of what was discussed there at the planning meeting was what we've gone through tonight. So Jake, thank you for the work there. A couple of other items, the commission it was time to elect a new chair and vice chair. Aaron Baugh was nominated and voted on to continue as the chair. And I think it was David Griffith, is that right? Will serve as the vice chair. We had
David Griffith was removed as vice chair.
okay.
And Chris Tremaya is the vice chair.
Okay. All right, I had them switched. Good work there. Teresa was awake. We also considered they also considered the 3 public hearings and then had a request for a conditional use permit from Young Power Sports. And we all know that they had been given permission to sell ATVs out of their existing building, but they wanted to put ATVs on display in front of the building, which required another review. And there's quite a bit of discussion on that one, but it was fun to watch the commission come together with your guys' input. Teresa was part of it and come up with what I thought was just a great resolution. Young's, of course, I mean, they're already part of our community. We know that they do what they say they'll do, and they're important to our city for sure. But yet they were anxious to get those units on display. But at the same time, there was some unanswered business on what they needed to do or how they were going to address certain things. For example, lighting, signage, and so forth. And Jake had noted that in his findings. So we came up with, and I'll let everybody take one so you can see it, with a list of 16 between Gary. Gary took good notes, and Jake, 16 different items that would be part of a conditions, if you will, in order to use that piece of property. And as a kind of and then as a resolution, so that it worked for both the city and them. They were given a 6-month period to operate. We'll review it again at the end of 6 months, with a 30-day period to answer the conditions. And as you read that, you'll see some of them just aren't terribly demanding. They just need to be answered. What are you going to do with lighting, for example? Well, we'll use the existing Ridley's lighting. Well, let us know that. We just need to know. So I thought it was a good resolution, and it was, in my mind, kind of the way government's supposed to work. So good job, you guys. Let's see, pass that on down. That's all I had. You've got the list. Gary's got it because he was writing it up.
Yeah.
Gary was the scribe.
Okay,
He was double scribe. Yeah.
Ty?
Well, I guess, one other, prior to the planning commission meeting, I get the opportunity to sit on the water advisory board. Had one of those meetings this past month, and the water facilities, irrigation, secondary are all invited to attend. And you may be hearing rumors about Ridley's wanting to expand, wanting to do different things. They did come to a public meeting and said they're looking to expand to the east of their building and doing stuff with water. So that is in the works and everything from the water folks and ditches. Nobody's here, but, so they're one step closer and will probably be coming to planning commission. They haven't been already real quick to make some additional changes. Young's on one side and doing something else on the other side of their existing store. So that is in the works and public knowledge now that they're working on making changes. I'm not sure what those are going to look like. Other than they're going to go from water cooled coolers to keep everything cold to electric. So they have different use of water for a new facility.
Did you hear anything on the well, Gary?
Have you heard anything back from?
No, they plan on abandoning the well. Of course, we learned that, and we asked them to get back with us on what's happening to water shares, because there are water shares attached to the well. And so I haven't heard anything back yet.
Okay.
I'd like to hear something back. Maybe I should reach out. We'll reach out to them.
Okay, thank you. Hi.
So Morgan Secondary Water's just finishing up their meter project and they need a spot to put their data collection tower, and they've identified that down by our well at 400, is that east? No, 400 east is over there, 400 west, down by the Rupp subdivision. That would be a good spot. It's on our property, and so next meeting we'll have Gary's working on a agreement right now for them to pay for us to put a pole up, and then a lease agreement for them to pay us a monthly amount.
And that spot will work for them.
That spot will work for them. It would be a 40-foot pole, and we have the poles on hand, so just kind of
What are we using the property for right now?
it's a well. We also have a pole that originally they said, can we just attach to that pole, and would rather set them a separate pole instead of put all their equipment on the same pole. So,
Convenient, power's already there.
yeah, and power's already there, would make the connections, and anyway, that they're just wrapping up getting all of their meters installed, and that would be the way that they would be able to read them, and so. It's,
Do we transmit anything or receive anything there at that property?
yeah, for ourselves.
Yes, for ourselves.
Yeah.
That wouldn't interfere with their
Mm-mm.
transmission wouldn't interfere with ours.
Yeah, no.
Their transmission wouldn't be strong enough that it interferes with neighbors' televisions and radios and so.
Yeah, the frequencies aren't the same, so the frequencies wouldn't interfere.
There's not gonna be a hum all night,
Mm,
a buzz.
No. So,
Well, you never know, do you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I heard, side note, one guy was talking about a data center in another state, not ours, but there's a loud enough noise. He said it sounds like it's just a buzz. It sounds like a weed whacker going all night long.
That's crazy.
And they tried to mitigate it and so far haven't been able to plan teams and different things out.
So,
Anyway.
yeah, then just want to thank everybody for the 4th of July. Since we haven't had a meeting since then, but those that participated, and it was a good day, good job by the chamber. I heard good things, so. Anyway, thanks for
It's nice of
participating.
Clark and company to help out where it wasn't even their highlight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
good for you.
It was water.
Till
And
it
then-
gets extra credit.
Yeah, so then in your packet, there's just an update on the UDOT crosswalk project. I'm just gonna let you know that construction just started yesterday. So over there across from Nebco, you'll see some people working, and
Yeah.
in the proposal, it said it would take up to a year to finish, but they already got started, and so I don't think it'll take.
Is that you press the button and it starts flashing and then walk across?
Yeah, so over here on Young Street, it'll have an overhead. And then by Nebco, it'll have a flashing crosswalk sign, and then
So is it one stop or two stops?
Nebco will have a crosswalk, and Young Street will have a,
Why wouldn't they
crosswalk.
both be the same? Why would one be just an overhead and another a pole?
the overhead one's the main one for the school crossing. That's the
School
one that we
right,
have a
school.
crossing guard at currently.
Well,
Young
that'd be
Street's, yeah, Young Street's our main
Or safe school
crossing, yeah,
crossing, right?
yeah.
The other reason I would say is you have faster traffic coming in the county. So by the time they hit Nepco, they should have slowed down. They should already be seeing it. So highly visible, somewhat, visible second later.
And so that eliminates the need for a crosswalk zone.
No, we'll still have crossing guards. It's just an enhancement to
Right,
the,
but the speed limit reduction.
oh, yeah, so
that
they'll,
eliminates the signs and the
yeah, so
the zone.
yeah, so the speed limit will actually go from 20 back to 30. But there'll be high visibility crosswalk. So if someone's crossing, it'll alert
Yeah.
traffic a lot more, but, because right now we have like a school zone. I think a school zone speed limit sign that'll get removed and then
I mean, any concern of just a young person, maybe an 8 or 9-year-old that wouldn't completely understand the use of the signage and cars going 30 miles an hour and the young person trying to cross.
That, yeah, there's
Ways.
just risky,
School.
yeah. They'll,
But now you can press the buttons and go anytime. right?
yeah,
Yeah, I think kids will get it over time.
I guess, I imagine they do other places.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's of course a risk, inherent risk, but 10, 12-year-old, I think. So they'll
Yeah.
look at it and they'll also be, because I have one of these in my neighborhood, there'll also be, people will just learn to slow down. Because I have one of these where a rail trail crosses and there's a lot of pedestrian bike traffic. People naturally slow down.
Anticipating that it may change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your bikers and your walkers will start to use these as, those will be their main crossing thoroughfares.
Gotcha.
so then, just an update on.
But
the-
one other question on crosswalk. Is that our city roads department? What are we doing now from the high school to the new seminary building, dentist office? On that end of the street where there's gonna be completely different pedestrian traffic?
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how that new crossing is gonna function,
They're
but
gonna
there's,
Come
but-
all the way up one, or you're gonna have to cross both how, I guess not they, how are we going to
yeah, I'm not,
hide that? Cause those are both city streets now.
yeah, I'll have to ask on what they decided, but it's hard because the students are gonna cross diagonal.
Yeah, they're gonna-
No matter
You
what.
may as well paint from stop sign to the bowling alley white. I
Yeah,
get
they
that.
already did that from the,
45 there across that big corner.
so we'll see where the.
But I didn't know what our patterns were that were
You
suggesting.
can do that.
Yeah.
There's some cities that actually have not only all four, but diagonal cross, but basically you stop the whole way, which would make sense if the high school is, 100 kids are heading over the seminary, they just hit the button, the whole thing stops for a minute and they all cross and then you go.
Yeah, we don't have any.
There won't be
controls.
there won't be any
Yeah.
controls over there.
Yeah.
I'm saying you could add it if you have power, you could,
Yeah,
not as a stoplight,
Well,
but as a.
but what we're
pedestrian.
saying is they won't cross in the intersection. They'll cross in between
Oh.
Mid-block.
Yeah,
They'll just-
sure,
groves will,
yeah.
so.
Or cross where they always have and walk down and cross it, yeah.
They
Yeah.
didn't,
Seminary building.
they never stayed in the crosswalk.
No, ever, but-
Building now.
We have a mid-block crosswalk that hardly ever got used as well. But anyway, I'll find out and
Be a lot of kids there at certain, when,
Oh, boy, every,
at the end of the period.
Yeah.
Class period,
Mm.
they'll be
going both directions.
Ty, what's driving UDOT to make their changes?
so it's part of the study, but the school district and the county and the city at their safety meetings talked about getting something, and this is actually an enhancement beyond what UDOT would normally provide. Normally, they wouldn't do two crosswalks that close together on
It
the,
just seemed a little bit odd to me.
yeah, so it was a request from
Okay.
the county and the school and the city to,
We've had this discussion in COG for years. The school district has
Yep.
driven that.
yep, so. So just an update on the DAF grant. So we did get an approval. This is the grant to buy the poultry building. It'd be 150,000, which is the cost of the building. So it would cover our cost of the building, and then another 150 if we get a grant that they would provide 150 towards a matching grant. So we could own the building and preserve it, get all the outside of it done with essentially no cost to the city. The only thing is the letter that they sent me had conditions on it about operating it as an event center and charging full market rate to have events, and so I, of course, pushed back on that because we're only talking about preserving the building at this point, and we don't want to be told how to operate it. You know, we don't have any immediate plans. The idea is just to preserve the building, and then when something fits, that we would move in that direction. Plus, it would need rehabbed on the inside to fit whatever
Comes in.
we decide to use, and parking lot and all that. But I pushed back, and then I found out since then that they had a meeting and they removed the restrictions. But I don't have their proposal to bring to council yet. I just kind of give an update on all where the discussions have been.
So who are they?
The DAF, it's the
Who's
donor
that?
donor advisory fund. So in the settlement from the Wasatch Peaks,
That's
that-
the same as the fish pond then?
Yep.
Same funding as.
yeah, same funding, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that's still
No, nice.
in the works, and then we'll bring a proposal. But that's what the ask was for 150, and then another 150 for a match on
From them also.
from them.
Okay.
So then the summer party, you have your thing.
Yeah. Like,
Hopefully everybody got a invite to the UAMPS members conference in Logan. If you need more information on that, let me know.
is that a first to be in Logan?
No, it rotates. So it's Lake Tahoe, Jackson Hole, Heber, and Logan. So it's been 4 years since we've been to Logan, so. Pretty nice that it's that close. Beats driving to Tahoe.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Yeah, try doing that with Dave in the
Yeah,
car.
or him. I think we started repeating our stories
No, it was
on the way back.
yeah, it was a good time.
Both of us did it, so neither of us said anything to the other one. We let him go.
Yeah.
Wasn't any lies in the stories, was there?
Yeah, and Dave picked up music, so it was good.
They get better. as-
Dave ran the radio.
And my last update, I just, Teresa has an update.
So it's been
Push your button so it's recorded.
Shoot. So, I don't get an opportunity to come to city council very often. It's been over a year, but I appreciate the opportunity that I have to give Janet a break to spend time with her family. And it was just coincidental that I'm able to read this formal letter to you guys. It's kind of long, so just be patient. So it says, Dear Mayor, City Council members and staff, please accept this letter of my formal resignation from the position of the City of Morgan effective September 1st. After more than 18 years of service, this decision was not made lightly. It has been a privilege and an honor to serve the residents of Morgan City and to work alongside such dedicated elected officials and staff. I'm sincerely grateful for the opportunities, experiences, and professional growth I have gained through my tenure. I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to the mayor, city council, and every member of the city staff for your trust, support, and collaboration over the years. Together, we have worked through challenges, celebrated accomplishments, and contributed to the continued growth and success of our community. The relationships I have built and the memories we have shared will always hold a special place in my heart. As I begin this new chapter, I do so with deep gratitude for the opportunity to have served the city of Morgan. I'm proud of what we have accomplished together and have every confidence that the city will continue to thrive through the years. I am committed to make the transition as smooth as possible and will do everything I can to assist before my departure. Thank you again for the privilege of serving the city of Morgan, and I wish the mayor, city council, staff, and entire Morgan community continued success and prosperity. So,
What happens if he doesn't accept your resignation?
Mayor, did you,
Told me to
yes,
flag
did you
height.
and Ty accept it yesterday?
I told her no, but she doesn't listen.
Yeah,
Best of luck, Teresa.
Yeah.
Thanks for all you've done.
Thank you for-
Been wonderful, been remarkable.
thank you very much. I've enjoyed being here and thought, well, I sit behind here so you don't see all the wrinkles. So I am getting up in my age, and since I'm still healthy and I've got a plethora of grandchildren, I decided to move to the next chapter and enjoy that part of my life. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, you wanna jump on that?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Godspeed.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I'd just like to add,
My thanks to, it's been awesome working with her. And you know, when there's a transition, then there's always like this little opportunity to upgrade or something. You're like, well, we'll just finish out, but the next person, I don't have anything that I can think of with Teresa that I would hope that we would do different or better. Just the way she handles everything, and her job's so built around her skill set. It's come a long ways, you know, since I've been here. We've been able to shift duties and that sort of thing, but what she's doing is built for her, and she's a perfect person for the position that she fills, and she's just done a great job. So really appreciate you.
Still zoom in on meetings, you know.
That'll be so fun.
Yeah. Good times.
Okay, that's all my updates.
Okay, well, thank you. Am I gonna get a ticket for coming off the off ramp and turning left?
On a red light?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to that. I mean, I come off of that off ramp and the light's red and I look both ways and I turn left.
I turn left every time I come off and I still,
My Cindy will say, it's red.
Yeah, that's a no bueno, Tony.
I do, I just.
Okay.
Habit, you know, look both ways.
You didn't say I'm on the city council.
Who I am?
Yeah, just don't tell them who you are.
Okay, this meeting's adjourned.